What's going on, guys?
What is up, everybody? How you doing today? I'm Rob from England Reptile, hanging out with Mr. Magano here today.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out with some little black dragon water monitors. These guys are really cool. These are only about 3 weeks old. So these are some fresh little babies that we got here. And just such a cool monitor, right? It's all black, jet black. So the black dragon is kind of like an incomplete dominant or a dominant trait for the water monitors. You can breed a visual to het and produce these animals. This is actually from a visual to het pairing. The dad is a black dragon, a visual black dragon. The mom is a het black dragon. And these guys, like I said, just hatched out about 3 weeks ago. Still working on socializing, and you can see they're not inclined to bite, but a little squirmy. But the more that we work with them, the better they're gonna be. I heard that you kind of like black dragons a little bit.
Yeah, if I were to have the space for a water monitor, these guys would be it. I like all the water monitors in general, but the black dragons, just, I love my dark Curtis, so these are kind of up that alley.
Yeah, it's just like an all black reptile. It's hard to beat.
Yeah,
all black reptile.
like I love some of the albinos and stuff, but they almost never look their best because they're always digging
Covered in
dirty.
dirt.
Yeah, these guys, it doesn't affect them as much. They still look nice.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Plus, like I said, I just like them like that.
Jet black.
Yeah, it's cool.
Should bring it up to the camera so you can see
Yeah.
how dark color these guys are. They're just like super black. And when they're born, you can actually see a little bit of their ocelli. It's kind of might be a little tough to see, but in the back you can see the spots in their back, and then as they grow, those spots will basically disappear and they'll be jet black, just like the rest of their body. But down the back when they're first born, you can see a little bit of that spots showing through. Pretty cool.
So cool, yeah. Here, so can put this one up there. There you go. They are, pretty curious at this age, which is nice. I mean, water monitors are curious always when they're socialized, but it's nice to see this early,
These ones are 5th generation captive bred, so, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, all born and raised at Nerd by us. So when you start hatching out these generations of captive bred animals, they are not like your wild-caught ones. They're not as afraid of people. They're not quick to bite. They're usually pretty laid back, and then once you get a little bit of handling time into them, they get like super, just very social.
Yeah.
So I can grab another one.
I was gonna be like, no, I'm running. But just really cool animals that I like a lot. Someday when I have space, I will have one for sure.
Yeah. And when they're born, it's kind of a little tough to tell the sex on them. A lot of people have a tough time with it. But if you look at a lot of babies, the males and females generally do have a little bit of a different shaped face from when they're young like this. So when you get some babies born and you get a chance to look at them, males usually have a longer, more angular face, long and slender. Girls usually have a little bit more of a short and stout face. Like that's a girl right there in your hands right there.
I can see the difference just looking at it now.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Another way that you can tell is if you hold them up like this and allow them to relax, but you hold them level like this and elevate their tail, the male's hemipenes will actually drop below the level of the tail right there, just after the legs, the back legs. So it's a little bit tougher when they're this size since they don't have very big hemipenes. And once they get a little bit of size on them, you can kind of use that as a good indicator to tell whether or not you got a boy or a girl.
It's cool.
Because they're not super different looking.
So what we're going to do in a minute too for you guys is we're going to take you on a walk down the hall and let you see these guys' mother. So you can see, how these guys grow and how big they get. She is not visual, as Rob mentioned. She's a het. So you can also see what a more standard water monitor looks like. Plus, like I said, size-wise, these guys will require you to have quite a bit of space for them. They do all kinds of stuff. They like the water, obviously. They'll climb. They'll burrow.
They will tear through any cage you put them in. So you need to be prepared for that in the future. That they will. I've seen them dig right through drywall. They'll dig through just about anything. Hard plastic. Sometimes it'll be tough for them to go through. But I've seen them dig right through most things that you would use for enclosures.
It's like sulcatas, they just go
They
through.
just tear right through. They don't care what your plan was. They have their own plan and they follow it.
Yeah.
Look at you.
But yeah, it'll definitely be nice when I have the space to do it and build it right.
Yeah.
It won't be in the house I'm in now because it's way too small.
Yeah, so the black dragons are actually, generally, most of the ones in the United States are from a smaller locality called the Komani locality of water monitor, which is a little bit smaller than your standard Sumatran water monitors or Malaysian water monitors. And so the male that fathered these babies right here, he is probably about 5.5, 6 feet long, which Sumatran water monitors can get up to 9 feet long, so they can get really big. Whereas the Komanis, the black dragon locality is typically a little bit smaller. The mom of these babies is probably 4.5 feet long, maybe, yeah, we're right about 4.5 feet long. So she's not giant, but she's a good size. Still a really cool animal. Check that out. Look at that little face.
What do you see? Hand back here?
It's like, nah, I'm just hanging out. But how cool is that? That's just like such a cool animal.
How cool is that? You can't see it.
How cool is that? Like that
John
t-shirt? Ba-ba-da-bum.
There's a horrible creature in the window.
Hello. Yeah, we can go check out
What's up?
these guys' mom.
I haven't seen you the whole time I've been up here.
There's a reason for that. We're not going to talk about it.
Well, we're filming right now, just so you know.
That's why I said we're not going to talk about it.
So let's go take a look at
Let you guys
their
get a
mom.
quick shot of these guys chilling down there.
Good to meet you.
And we will head out.
No.
Hey, I just mopped the floor. You're welcome.
What's up?
Record that.
Shit on your phone.
Oh, so now for me to get dirt all over me.
Yeah. And we can make them do it again.
So this girl right here is their mom. Her name is Boo Boo, and she's a het black dragon. You can see probably about 4.5 foot long, but long tongue flicks, very curious. I've got a really good relationship with this girl. I've known her for now like 4 or 5 years or so, and so I've got a really good relationship with her. She's very calm, very curious, just an awesome animal.
Yeah, she is really cool.
Get it right in there, right up to the front.
What do you think?
Look at that girl.
But yeah, they do, when you get them properly socialized and you keep them well, they do make, like a pet you can really interact with and spend some time with, and they'll seek out attention and things like that. So while I love my snakes, it's just a totally different keeping experience, but they're a lot of work too. So it's not something, not something you want to get as a casual pet for sure, because you're going to put a lot of time and effort and definitely a lot of money into keeping and feeding them.
They are the messiest creatures on the planet.
Oh, absolutely.
You clean their water and they'll go, and while you're filling it back up, they'll go poop in it and stare you in the eyeballs while they do it. So they know that they're disrespecting you.
Just letting you know who runs the show.
Yeah, seriously. They're like, clean it again, thank you. You can tell that there's a lot of intelligence going on. As her eyes are moving, she's looking at you, the way her pupils are dilating and everything. You can tell that she's not viewing me as a threat. She's not seeing me as, and she knows I'm not feeding her right now.
She's getting irritated with you stopping petting her.
Yeah, she does kind of get a little annoyed with that. Do you want to come out and say hi? Here. Big girl. Come here. So you can see, pretty good size animal right there. You got to take that into account if you want to get a water monitor. They do get really big. She's not as giant as they could potentially be, but she's still a really big lizard. Really, really big lizard. You're going to climb on my shoulder, aren't you?
Yeah, she's like, check out my nails.
Do you want to climb up there?
That's another thing to keep in mind too. You have to keep their nails maintained, because if you don't, you will be bleeding every single time you interact with them. And not because they're being mean or anything, but they're very powerful climbers, and you'll dig in. There we go. Hi, darling. Go for the head.
Not the face. Sit on the head, that's fine.
So pretty. What are you doing, darling? Giving me the stink eye because I got this on your face.
She's really
She's
good.
like,
She
what
really doesn't
is
care.
that thing? No, she doesn't. She's just paying attention. But she's a very pretty animal, and now Rob is her perch.
I'm a professional perch, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Careful. I've heard that term thrown around up here before.
Yeah, Dustin with his arms.
I was talking about Gianni.
Oh, being a professional?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just professional furniture. I'm not a professional anything.
Just checking out everything, looking at where she can go.
Wanna
Cause
go back?
trouble.
Okay, fine. That's fine. She's like, I'm just gonna climb down. Do you wanna go out that way or you wanna go in there? Which way you wanna go?
Back into the cage.
Yep.
So like I said, she has substrate in there where she can dig. She has that water source in there where she can get in there and submerge
Basking
herself.
areas up top
She can
and
go up
everything.
bask on the shelves up there. So she has all different elements, which is something that they need. Yeah, it's not something you can skimp on with them and not give them. They have to have those things.
Yeah, she's got probably 8 inches of substrate in here because this goes down to the floor here, but it's at least, you know, that high. So about 8 inches of substrate in there.
Yeah, because they'll dig down quite a bit when they're grabbing and laying those eggs.
Yep, and I see them digging all the time. Even the males will dig. They'll go through and dig out different sections of the enclosure just to explore, just to check everything out. And they're super smart, so you do have to kind of interact with them. You have to keep their mind going because they are so, you know, they got a lot going on upstairs. But they don't underestimate them. They can definitely climb really well. Like, a lot of people see that a little climbing thing right there, and they're like, how does she get to the top? She scales that thing like it's nobody's business. And for a big lizard like this, you would think that she might have a tough time. Not at all. She is like very capable of scaling right up there. Look at that tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's like, well, it was relaxing.
Yeah. Usually when she sees the door open, she's like, I'm coming out. I'm coming out. And I'll put her back, and she'll like turn around and come, still try and climb out. You gonna stay in there or you gonna come out?
Still thinking about it.
Yeah. It's towards the end of the evening here, so she's probably getting ready to wind down for the night. Yeah, I love this girl. She's great. Yeah. What's she doing?
Someday, on my list, actually when I was just on NPR, they had asked me, and water monitor was my B.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still love my crocodilians, but it's just cool to have a pet that's basically a lizard that's a dog, you know?
Yeah.
You can really have that kind of relationship and interaction, and only thing is you don't have to throw the ball, so it's nice.
You never have to go on negative 10-degree walks outside when it's snowing.
Yep. You just have to keep a section of your house where it's like
At 110
degrees.
degrees, yeah. Basking spot at 120 to 140.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, nice and comfortable. So yeah, keep that in mind too, because if you live in a colder climate, you're going to spend some money to eat that
A
thing.
lot of money on heating them and feeding them. They're not a cheap animal to keep at all.
No.
Very expensive to house them, very expensive to feed them, very expensive to maintain their temperature. They are not a animal that
The
anyone should
amount
just
of work
hop
and all
into.
that stuff, I mean, you could have 15, 20 snakes easily.
Oh yeah,
you know.
easily for the same cost and
Yeah.
space.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, we'll end this video for now. Now we
Yeah,
got
so
to see
make
some
sure
more
if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to Dan Magano's channel.
Yeah, you better. We'll be doing
Better.
live videos soon. So
Yeah, so make sure you
It's really
subscribe,
exciting.
turn on that post notification bell, smash that like button, and let them know that Nerd sent you.
So we'll see you guys.